father started the firm in 1925, and in those days he was dealing in a cross-section of art, from paintings to continental and English porcelain, Chinese and Japanese art. He had a very nice gallery in the West End of London, and then he was offered to move to Kensington Church Street in 1953, and we moved here, and of course at that time there were approximately 90 antique shops in this street and the minor streets off the main road, and a very vibrant area for antiques, so we decided to move here. When I joined the firm, of course, I knew very little. My father would send me to view all the sales, and he insisted I touched and picked up every single piece in the auction. And it was a wonderful learning time, until I was rather surprised and perhaps a little bit shocked. My dad said, "Now you can go off buying by yourself." Well, of course, I was extremely apprehensive about this, and I realized as a young man that when I looked at Ming porcelain, there were famous firms like Blewett, Sparks and Sydney Moss, Hancock. They were all concentrating on Ming porcelain, and I realized that I could actually go to Blewett and Sparks, ask them for Qing Imperial porcelain, which wasn't on show, because probably they didn't consider it good enough, and they'd open cupboards and I could buy beautiful things. But it was an instant love affair, touching them, feeling the weight, the flared rims, the thickness of the porcelain, studying the marks. And it was a pleasure because I knew we could actually go to the main auction rooms and buy these what were actually treasures. I think my advice to any young Chinese people who wish to go into the business: handle the pieces, but go to museums. Because if you study the things and shapes in the museums, it will register subconsciously. And if you see enough of it, you'll see a shape elsewhere, and you'll remember that it's a Sung shape, perhaps an 18th century copy, but it's derived from the 12th century. And that's why it's imperative to go to museums, continually looking at the pieces. Of course, we're very fortunate in London. We've got the British Museum and the Percival David, and also at the Victoria and Albert Museum there's wonderful treasures. So my advice to any learning Chinese people who come to London: don't miss the V&A or the British Museum, and they're absolute musts if you want to learn about the whole field.